Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Out of 85 MCAs in Nairobi County, 70 MCAs have signed a petition to initiate the impeachment of Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. This is a shocker to the country because as MCAs were plotting an impeachment motion against the city governor, the governor was in State House looking very depressed. Of course, he met the president. He attended the event in State House on this Tuesday. But MCAs are saying they must do away with Sakaja. I've looked at some 6 accusations against the city boss. And while I associate with the fact that he's not done much for Nairobi County and his actions have not matched what has been saying, but the grounds for impeachment are very flimsy. And from that in this podcast, I'm going to look at the political intrigues behind what then looks like a threat on the reign of Johnson Sakaja. Kindly subscribe to our channel and watch this podcast. I also start by saying thank you very much that I requested us to come and converge around the project of building a house for Mama Rahab Gina, the blind widow from Joro who lost her husband way back during PV and was living in very deplorable conditions. And on top of that, despite of those challenges, she had also shown humility by taking one boy who was just orphaned in the community there and supported that boy and has been living with the boy. So when I called you guys, we really came through for that. This is how far that house has reached. I left David in Yoro, who is finishing up. We are supposed to hand over and have just a mini service on Saturday morning in Joro. And there is only one element of that project that is remaining. And because of the condition of Mama, we were thinking that we need to get her solar so that we install solar for her. And also, when you go back, we'll buy uniform for the boy and the beddings. Yes, the beddings, bed and mattress. Just like what we did in Embu, we'll have a bed for Shosh and a mattress, same na mtoto, and of course some beddings, because as I had shown you, their condition where they were really, it was not really looking good. And hata wakiingia kwa nyumba, sasa wataingia kama, at least wataingia kama nyumba ni mzuri, na pia wengine vitu mpya. And also, thank you very much. We also have to support. Mama Ngina is blind, and in terms of economic activity, we seem not to get better breakthrough. Hakuna kitu anaweza fanya. So the only then available option is if you can do some cash transfer, which if you can be willing to commit probably even 2,000 or 1,000 per month, we'll be able to coordinate with one of my team members so that it will go to support her on monthly basis. Governor.
Speaker's Kamukuji that had been called by the Speaker himself to update members on the charges that they already put on his desk, and they have not been receiving solutions for the same. So the members raised the issues of bursaries. You realize it's only Nairobi County, or one of the counties, that have not been able to distribute bursaries to the residents of Nairobi. There was also the issue of WDF, Ward Development Fund, that has not been working according to us. We have had stalled projects where we have not received any answers from the executive. There are so many stalled projects within the wards, and the residents of Nairobi have been asking why those projects have not yet been completed. The members are also saying that the governor is not in touch, completely in touch, both with the ground and with this assembly, the members of this assembly. 3/4 of the members who make calls to the governor, he does not reply or call back to these members. So there's a question of communication between the executive and the assembly, and there is also the issue of his failure to come out on the issue of the broad-based government. He does not give direction on the issue of broad-based government. There are some issues that are supposed to be dealt with by the intergovernmental laws that he has failed to do so. So many of these things have not been implemented. The issue of motions, the bills that have been passed before this parliament, before this assembly, he has not taken any implementation step. And we are very cautious on these issues. That's why members came on board and they decided to discuss these things with the speaker.
Which we have had several times to impeach the government.
Yeah.
We finally got.
One of the resolutions that have been passed by the members here today is that both the governor of Nairobi and his deputy must start packing. And we are not threatening, we are going to do it.
Signature collection probably start
It will start very soon, and all members are coordinated, and we believe that by next week we'll be having a retreat on the same. Today what we had here was about 96 and over members who attended Kamukunji. Remember, this assembly has 122 members, so therefore we are over and above the numbers that are needed to impeach both the governor and the deputy.
So signature collection can it happen and it's still on recess?
The collection of the signatures will go on as long as it is the speaker who has called the retreat. Members are free now to collect the signatures there. It is not the work of the speaker to collect the signatures, but the motion can be initiated by a member of this assembly. Yeah.
Are you willing to do that?
Yes, we are. We are ready like yesterday. I wish this resolution, we made it 3 or 4 weeks ago. We would be very far. Even if it means calling for a special sitting to deal with this specific agenda, we are ready to, and we're asking the speaker to call for that special sitting so that we can deal with that agenda. Yes.
Kibaka kidogo baba ujaza kibaba, na asanteni sana. We've really come from far since Thursday last week, and we've done this together. Now, the first accusation of the MCAs is neglected projects. I'm one person who I don't like when you see leaders getting along, there is a problem. When you see governors getting along with the MCAs, that county cannot move. Yes. When you see National Assembly going to bed with the executive, the country will stall. And in the spirit of accountability, there is a question that must emerge at this point. Neglected projects, they have not mentioned which projects. It's very true that there are billboards of this and that initiated, but not so much has happened. I'm honest. When you move along Kangundo Road, if you stay in Nairobi, and also Outer Ring, there are some stalls that have been built there. If you look at those stalls, zimeandikwa na picha ya president. There is some billboards on top of those stalls. Yeah, Sakaja, the president, and the two-term politics going on. Those are the things I've seen. The visibility of the Nairobi County here is low. Surely it's low. I don't know. I don't seem to see. I saw dish in a county. Maybe that's the only thing being seen. And they're complaining about neglected projects. Are they objective about it? The question should be money allocated and misappropriated, and that's why that project is not going on. That should be the angle. But there is a blanket allegation of neglected project. The second one is poor service delivery. Did they realize today? No. Is there poor service delivery? Yes. Did they realize today? No. Declining, there is also accusation. This is interesting. Accusation of sponsoring goons on J25 during the Albert Ojwang death. I remember that photo, that video. When people carrying rungus, in politics, there is something that the country needed to learn from Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. When Rigathi was saying government is shareholding, President Ruto was clapping, laughing behind, and was thinking, yes, we are consolidating the numbers. But when it came to Rigathi Gachagua impeachment, the same soundbite, the same clips of Rigathi talking right in front of the president were used against him. Now on J25, Sakaja kept on saying, called press briefing saying, we will protect Nairobi. We will protect Nairobi. Goons carrying rungus were spotted in the city. But these goons were being protected. They camouflaged with the police. They were being escorted by the police to rain terror on the protesters. By that time, it was comfortable. However, I am not absolving Sakaja of the blame. But what I'm saying is that the goon terror in Nairobi is a coordinated move, even involving the police department, who is the Nairobi regional commander. I saw the other day, there were some goons that broke into some shop in Nairobi. Then someone said they were chanting, they were shouting one time. So that accusation of sponsoring goons, do you think Sakaja is being impeached on that ground? Do you believe so? Do you believe that is it? No. I'm not saying corruption. You compare that to Karachi impeachment, I'm saying corruption. The other accusation is under fire from his own party. Two things. If Sakaja doesn't vie through ODM party, he might vie through another party, but not UDA. And he has made that a bit clear during when, of course, having frequent meetings with Raila of telling Raila about the move for this, that if he doesn't vie through ODM, he could actually seek another political party. Now, let's put this impeachment to a context. Number one, Parliament is in recess. I think that is Senate. Number two, the impeachment is coming at a time Raila is asking senators not to, the president is talking about corruption. So it would have been the talk of corruption. And the impeachment also comes as a diversion to a context. So this is another curious observation. For 70 MCAs to sign the petition to impeach Sakaja, you know what it takes? It takes both Raila and Ruto for them to achieve 70 as a number. There have been streams of impeachments. Let's keep off Raila and Ruto a bit. MCAs, there was a legislation that was passed, that was signed for president, for MCAs to have their own budget so that they don't depend on the governor's office. Sometimes the impeachment, what do you think you expect next? What you expect next is Sakaja to pour money in the assembly for the impeachment to flop. For the impeachment to flop. How much money did governors, senators receive in the floor of House to rescue the Isiolo governor Abdi Guyo? President said in the tune of 150 million were in the Senate. And even before that, do you think there is always no attempt even to bribe the MCAs? Are there? So impeachment is also an enterprise for politicians to fleece money from the governors. Impeachment is an enterprise. Impeachment motion is a business where you can get how to fleece some money from there. I believe that impeachment is a tool that should be exercised and should be used well when the leader is not meeting the expectation of the electorate. I strongly believe so. So that is also an avenue now. The grounds for impeachment of Sakaja, according to me, are flimsy. They're not like grounds of impeachment. And then, that then opens this impeachment to a wider interpretation of the motive. And I want you to look at this. Ruto and Raila wants to procure a popular candidate to target Nairobi vote. They're looking for a candidate. Neither of them believe that Sakaja, even if Sakaja vies through ODM ticket, he won't get it. He won't get it. He will not. And this shows of a mistrust, a breakdown between Ruto Raila with Sakaja. What do you think can bring the breakdown? If by any chance Ruto and Raila are uncomfortable with Sakaja, it cannot be anything apart from the cake in Nairobi. And if they're looking for that popular candidate, then they're sending signal. They're already showing Sakaja's signal. If Sakaja realizes that 70 MCAs, he will spend time and look at the list. Then from there, he will understand hapa, Wayudia ni wangapi, ODM ni wangapi, na kuna mwenye huyu anasikianga baba, huyu anasikianga President Ruto, huyu hawezi sign bila baba kumwambia, huyu hawezi sign bila Ruto. Then from there, there is a message they are sending to Sakaja of dumping. The second aspect is the Nairobi governor can also be sacrificed to seek Nairobi vote. There is indeed underdevelopment. And the city, in this city, you cannot, kama kuna place ngumu sana kufanya kazi ni hapa, in this city. Hapa, this city. And someone might want then to show that it's only, yes, county government has failed, but national government also has activities here, very many promises, left, right, and center that have not been done. And Sakaja will be sacrificed for the masses. Exclusively from this podcast, Sakaja was engaging Rigathi Gachagua, and his intent is to ensure that he can actually seek re-election on the DCP party after reconciling with Rigathi. On the day Rigathi was stoned on his way from the airport, the stoning was actually organized. And according to the reports that have been coming out from the DCP insiders, is that the mobilization could have been done by city MPs, by some MPs in the city. And from there, the narrative was picked that it was Sakaja. I analyzed it and I said, Sakaja needed to respond. The venue where Rigathi was supposed to hold that meeting, Kamkuji grounds, is under the county. And there was an attempt for the county to block Sakaja, the county through Sakaja, to block Rigathi from going to that place. So, that's another big discussion going on, that Johnson Sakaja is seeking Rigathi Gachagua endorsement for 2027. And someone will say it's impossible. Don't say it's impossible. It cannot be impossible. Who is the deputy party leader for DCP? Is Malala. And who the party could also be feeling insecure, scrambling for this. But the big thing, someone wants the loot from the city, and maybe Sakaja is not eating with them. Thank you.